back to the So OffScript podcast. I am your host, Jessica Taylor, current cast member of Ready to Love Season 8 with Dallas. And I am so excited about today's episode because I am here with one of my favorite girls and one of my castmates, the one and only Miss Sierra SB is joining us today. I'm so excited that you're here.
Girl, I am so excited to be here. Finally, I get to show my voice and
listen
outside of the drama.
Because it's been a lot.
It's been a lot, yes.
So we're going to recap this episode, us both being up for elimination.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The cash trip.
They wanted us to fight, girl.
Bad. They really wanted us to go down in flames. And I'm just...
That was a lot.
It's very interesting to say the least. So we're going to talk about that. But prior to, we have done some amazing things off camera as well, too, that I really wish we had got the opportunity to highlight and kind of show. But one of those that you were a part of that we got to do here locally was Community Day for the Exxon community in South Dallas and Kansas City right before the kids went back to school.
It was amazing. Like, my whole heart was so full. I felt so good. It was finally a time that we got to see each other as people in just regular, like in a regular sense. It wasn't a lot of cameras. We were able to give a lot, back. And I just want to thank you for organizing that in a matter of 2 weeks.
Girl.
Listen, 2 weeks.
When I get my mind on something, it's going to happen.
Listen. I'm just so grateful for that experience. And then the community, they really, it was a good turnout. It wasn't just like a, just a little pushover thing. It was great. Like, we really did our thing. And I'm so happy for that.
Showed up. And so for those who may not be aware, we hosted a Ready to Love Dallas Community Day. August 31st, we had the Black Heart Association out there doing free blood pressure screening, EKG screenings, cholesterol panels. We also had the Black Doctors Association there.
Right.
We also had, the chiropractor was there doing alignments. Your donor provided all of those amazing sweatsuits for the kids.
It was full sweatsuits too.
Tops and bottoms.
I thought we were going to just get the hoodies. I said, wait a minute, it's pants too. Wait a minute. Let it out some of them outside, girl.
Yeah, we had that. That was cool as well. In addition to that, too, we were also Seeds to STEM came out. Yana came out and did yoga. It was just a really great overall experience for everybody who showed up. And I'm so thankful that we were able to do that and bless those children and then support so many local-owned and Black-owned businesses
communities,
in that process. So you're just joining. I know you.
Yes.
The camera loves you. But tell us a little bit about who Sierra is and what you got going on.
So Sierra, I am a daughter, a business owner, a stylist, a personal shopper, a good friend, a activist in the community for the LGBTQ community. I put my foot in a lot of businesses and a lot of stuff, but mainly, so I'm a stylist, mostly for NFL clients. I have started reaching out for two. Oh, my mouth started. Can we cut that? So I have started reaching out to women clients. So I'm starting to do that a little bit more. But yeah, that's me.
And you also just had a really big meeting.
I had a really big meeting. I ran into the Carlos King.
Shut your mouth.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did while I was in LA for Beyonce.
Hey.
A little shameless plug. Listen,
I'm so excited.
Her birthday concert.
I heard it was everything.
Everything.
I heard it was everything.
It was everything, girl. So I was able to meet with him, and he was like, it was just confirmations. Also, my friend Kevin Leroy, who's also on Black Ink and stuff like that. So me and him actually are really good friends, been friends for years.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of positive energy. They were basically telling me, hey, there might be a shift in your presence. I feel like TV might be a thing for me. I've always been a behind the scenes girl. As much as people think that my personality is so big, so blah, 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 I've always dressed people to be in that spotlight and did that. But it's me. I think it's a me. Is it me season?
It's a me season.
It's me season because I'm tired of hiding this personality. And then once people see it, they're like, wait a minute. I thought she was mute. Like,
and we're gonna talk about that.
We're gonna talk about it because they think I'm a fool, and it's like, wait a minute now, girls went to college now. Girls got things.
You know, I think it's very interesting to just like being in this space on reality TV, knowing that they are building a character,
right?
And that they have a show board for who they want to show up, how, when, and where. And I think it's very interesting because even for myself, I was like, I talked so much.
Right. You did.
The entire season about so many different things. Like I talked about my egg retrieval. I talked about me being a foster parent. I talked about me being in AmeriCorps. I talked about, me studying in Oxford. I talked about so many things that were just left
behind. Yeah. And I got to look like the rodeo clown, which is okay. It's cool. But it's like, what is Sierra? Like, does she has depth? I actually got eliminated for being too fun.
And I was right there next to you for being combative and or serious. And
it was the mean and the nice girl.
Yeah. And then she was like, mean where? I don't talk to y'all. Like at this point, I'm realizing
the kiki is I'm really a mean ass person. I can be perceived as mean. It's like I'm either say nothing or I'm too much at a time. So that could be persuaded as. So it was really off putting when I heard that about you. Of course, I was like, what?
I've learned in this process too that sometimes, first of all, we know that everybody's not going to like you.
Right.
I think it's also important too to understand that it's easy to be misunderstood because after a certain point within the show, I realized, okay, this is how this is tracking.
Right.
I'm just going to stop talking. Like, I'm just going to show up, do my dates, go home, and just call it a day. Right.
Yeah.
Probably not the best thing in hindsight.
No.
Because it gives people the opportunity
to control the narrative.
And also formulate what they want to say, right?
Exactly.
But I'm just like, at this point, there's no winning. Like when I was at the hoedown, it was like, oh, Jessica, we're going to have Jessica go up there and speak. She the one with the vocabulary. She going to do it.
And mind you, people think that was rehearsed. I'm telling you, girl, you freestyled that thing and it was crazy. I said, wait a minute. So y'all probably feel attacked because the vernacular is coming off so smooth that you have no defense mechanism to it. You don't know what to say because your ignorance is going to show. That's what's going to make you a mean girl.
Well, and after that was, Jessica know all the words. You know how to define them. You know what this means. And so it's like, okay. And so then when later in the season I hear, you think you better than us using your big words, I was like, okay. This is tracking. So my thing is I see early.
You have to know the audience. You have to know the people that you're dealing with. And I had to understand that, like, this is Loewe Runway dealing with Fashion Nova. I can't. And I had to really understand that. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I did. Let's talk about my wig during the show.
Girl, okay. So I'm a bald hair girl, so I recently just decided I was going to grow my hair out because, I was like, I will wear a sew-in for the show, whatever.
Right.
It's easy because, I was like, pixie. So I had to get in here and get this curled every day. It's a lot, it's too much. Are you enjoying your Espresso Martini?
Brought to you by. Let me tell you something.
Listen.
I also got looked at as the drunk of the show, but let me tell you something. It takes a lot of liquor to deal with people of that stature. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. And that's why girls were Ubering also, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want me to drink and drive? Okay, but back to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I want to get back to your job, too.
Yes,
because, that's important as well.
It's so important to me.
So, yeah, I was doing the same thing. So, I'm here for a good wig, because, I love your bob wig.
Mm-hmm. The bob. They didn't even get to see the bob.
What's
wrong with the bob?
The bob is the moment.
Nothing.
I love it. I love the bob, child. So yes, let's talk about it. I felt like it was cute. It was definitely different because you went from like bop bop like
right. And my thing is this: the viewers they didn't realize it was hard for continuity reasons. I couldn't switch back because I thought I was just gonna gag the people with just a wig because other men on the show had the wig and that wasn't showed or whatever. But I wasn't gonna be that whatever. But I wanted to wear it for one episode. But it was like, no, so you gotta keep it for now and until we tell you. So the wig started wigging me. So I was like, what is happening? I want to go back to my shortcut. So I nearly wore it the whole season. And I didn't want it to be the case.
The I didn't even notice it because, we don't see each other on dates.
Yes.
So I only saw you at the ladies' lounge.
Right.
And I didn't know that was...
Yeah, so when I had the Givenchy red dress on, that was the first time that I wore the wig.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the last time I wore the wig. And it was like, no, Sierra, actually, you were supposed to tell us before you did that.
I remember because you did an interview, you were there for like all day.
I
back and forth about that wig.
I was so upset. I was like, this wig, it's supposed to be off. It's supposed to be off me.
I saw it. Yeah, it was.
So the viewers didn't like that, but the viewers are gonna be viewers.
And on both days you got paid.
On both days I got paid.
On both days you got paid.
And I was
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what is the life of a stylist, and if someone is interested, like, how do they get into this space?
Okay, so for me, I actually started out with just styling my friends, and I see a lot of people asking, like, what does she really style? Because I don't show my clients on my page.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of high profile guys or whatever. So it's very seldom that that I'll post them or just even repost, because they'll tag me. But it's like, it's a dog eat dog world when it comes to styling.
It is.
A lot of people will undercut you. They'll come and they'll try to take your client or whatever the case may be, and which is fine. I came up with just styling my friends. Mm-hmm. I dated a guy in the NFL. He basically put me in a group message with his teammates. It was like, yo, like, she's dope. Like, do y'all wonder where I get this stuff from? Here she is. So I started working with them, and we live in a world where a lot of people it's on their DIY stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they don't want to say, oh, I got a stylist, no stylist. So I started providing a service to where I just get the dope stuff because I have access to it before anyone.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. I am a VIC with...
Rest in peace, dog. But he was quick because he said, I don't need no stylist. I'm quick with the fashions.
I'm quick with the fashions. Let me tell you something. I get invited to every party, every release. I'm a VIC with every major brand there is. So I get all the lookbooks as soon as it comes off the runway.
And you got an event with Jimmy Choo coming up.
Yes, I have an event with Jimmy Choo. I also have an event with, who else? Fendi. So I'm hosting something with Fendi. Dior is my main.
Yeah.
My main thing.
Yeah.
But of course I have contracts with Balenciaga. The list goes on. I have so much stuff going on.
That's a blessing.
It is a blessing. But this year, this football season, I did want to make it. And I sent out a notice to all my clients where I want to reach out to more Black owned brands. Yeah. Because it's like I'm making a lot of money on the back end with them, because I'm getting a percentage with these clothing brands. Absolutely. And I'm charging my clients. But it's like, are we really eating? Because it's me eating, and I'm taking money away from my clients. But it's like, I want it to be a chain effect. You know what I'm saying? I want to give money to my Black community, and then also I make money, but I'm also providing a service.
Well, you know they say that the dollar stays within the Black community 42 seconds, and then in other communities, their dollar stays 6 minutes.
Wow. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
it's crazy.
It's going right back out.
It's unheard of. So that's what I want to do. I'm trying to figure out ways on how I can, just be more in tune and in touch with my people, my class. You know what I'm saying? Because I've reached so high, and even at these parties, I'm rubbing shoulders with all these uber rich people, and it's a dope experience. And I meet a lot of people. I make money, but it's like, what am I really doing for us? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
and it's something we always have to think about too, So I always, even with the community days, always trying to figure out when are opportunities you can do things for us, support us, and put back into us, right?
Right.
With this podcast, I was like, listen, I don't have a whole lot, but what I do have, I plan to make some efforts. So I make sure we highlight Black-owned businesses every week. So these espresso martinis that you're drinking, tequila, which that is provided,
great,
is been by Tequila and Friends, which is a Black-owned tequila company here in Dallas. And then the coffee that we use for that, of course, is Ezra, and this is our Lord Baldwin blend. So we have that too. But we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, girl, we're going to dig into some of these clips from this episode.
Oh, Lord.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's
like my granny used to say, yeah.
Yeah, honey. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So 1 second, we'll be back for the word from our sponsors and this brief commercial break.
Cheers.
All right, so welcome back to the So OffScript podcast. I am your host, Jessica Taylor, and I am here with one of my favorite people and castmates from this season of Ready to Love Dallas, Sierra SB, Strictly Blonde.
Yes, Strictly Blonde.
Strictly Blonde. She is a fashion designer. She is an activist. She is a reality TV star.
I am. At that.
She is a friend. She is a aunt, and with all the fashions for the nieces and the nephews. Just
and the daughter,
all around, and the puppies too, right? All around, just such a dope person. I'm so glad that you decided to come and sit in the yellow chair.
I'm so happy to be here.
You're so.
God said, wait a minute, why have I not sat here yet? I have so much to talk about.
Yeah, you're the only, you're the second cast member, so her was sat there.
Okay.
And then now you're here. Perfect. So, I got a quick question. Your business, before we do so, what are some obstacles that you had to face becoming a stylist? Because I know, like, when we hear stylists, I typically hear June Ambrose, my good girlfriend Rachel Johnson. We hear, Ducky. We hear those, like, it's onesie twosies, right?
Right.
We don't hear about a lot of people. And then I don't even think I've ever understood what's the trajectory to get there.
Okay, so it's a dog eat dog world. It's definitely about who you know and how persistent you are and consistent. Like, you have to literally stay on it. You have to stay new. You have to have a target audience and literally stab them to death.
But your target audience is men.
Yes. And I just found that out. At first I was just like, okay, I'm going to try to do everything.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this. And then also a lot of people, they always ask me, the number one question that everybody asks me, did you start in retail? I've never worked retail ever.
Are you serious?
I only had one job in my entire life. And that was at Hooters. Well, two. Hooters and Twin Peaks.
I can see you in both.
Exactly. So let me tell you about that. But listen, it gave me a voice.
Yeah.
It really taught me how to talk.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, what makes you better than, what makes what you have better than the next person.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily what you have better. Who tells the better story? Who has the better, like, you have to be consistent, regulars and stuff like that. Yeah. Gaining relationships. So that's a lot of things that I put in perspective when it comes to my job, to my career now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my biggest obstacle was always staying focused and going in rooms where I necessarily didn't feel like I belong, and then owning that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to go in places like these parties. Hey, partying looks different for me. I'm at these Louis Vuitton parties and it looks like I'm having fun, but really I'm going in there with a sound mind and an objective. So you have to push yourself in these places to where it's not always comfortable. You might be the only black girl there. You might be the blonde, short, bald head girl. They're going to comment on your hair. You're going to have to say that speech. Oh, is that real? Or how long you been blonde? Loving that hair, girl.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to talk about those things and it's going to get on your goddamn nerves. But it's like, hey, the main focus is to take that money and put it in my pocket. Yeah. So I'm here.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we both share, is the fact that we are always constantly showing up in spaces that are uncommon for many.
Yes.
And at this point, they're common for us, right? Like, I just spoke at a summit yesterday, the Women's Leadership Summit.
Yeah.
And
hello.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it's to be around so many, not only black women.
Right.
Black women who are millionaires.
Exactly.
Multi-millionaires. And they're not 70. Like, these chicks are really out here doing it. And then, not only to be in those spaces, they chose me to speak on a panel. And then afterwards, one lady says, I've been where you are in my business, and I want to help you. I've been where you are. I've seen where you are. I want to sponsor you. I want to support you. Here's my contact. Let me see how I can help you get to that next level, right? But I think it's very important to what you said is, you have to be in the right rooms.
You do.
And I think one thing within this experience for both of us on this show was understanding that sometimes some rooms
are too small.
And while you may be there, you just have to learn how to move within that space.
Right.
And that's something I had to learn too within this show, is just how to move within unfamiliar spaces. Because even though we both tried to bounce up out of here early.
Right. Listen, I begged and I begged, but
you've been trying to self-eliminate since the hoedown.
Listen, that's why they didn't see me dancing. If y'all look back and go back, y'all didn't see me dancing because I left this.
And you didn't see me at the mixer brunch thing that you guys had that morning. Like, this is a lot. So I think a lot of that too is just really being intentional with your space and understanding how to move through those spaces when it's very unfamiliar. So we're going to get into this first clip.
Okay.
And so this clip, a little show notes because I can't remember everything, so I'm getting old. This clip is understanding the importance of communication.
Okay.
Which I think was a big deficit through a lot of this season. So we're going to watch this clip real quick.
Okay, let's see, child.
My choice of words was bad.
I thought it was extremely off-putting. It was unnecessary. And I don't even understand where that came from.
Yeah.
I ain't gotten into no arguments with nobody since I've been here. I ain't raised my voice. I showed up, I've been respectful. I've not done any of those things that the technical definition of combative is.
Yeah.
And then you get up there and do the same, like, come on, man, for real. And the thing was interesting about that is when people put labels like that on Black women, it sticks even longer. So now you're trying to spend all this time undoing something that's not even me at my core.
You're not.
There's nothing else I can do about it. I can just lay it on the altar and hope and pray that people see me for who I truly am.
And when you said people, you were not. People need to understand you were not talking about castmates. You're talking about the world is seeing you in this space, and now you're being labeled as this angry Black woman, and it's unfair. I think that was really, it was unfortunate that whole situation went down. And if you look back at all the scenes and notice in every episode, if you notice my face, and I feel bad because I'm like, Sierra, there's been points where I wish I would have said more than what I've said.
Yeah. Likewise.
You know what I'm saying? But just to look at my face of disgust on and I was limited for being nice and fun. So you are these people were staying around and being monopolized they're being rewarded for just ruining people's credibility in their home. We have lives.
I have a whole business.
And
the thing that's so irritating about all of that is I could see if I was even like I said to Mario, I could see if I was fighting with people. I could see if I was arguing with the girls. I could see if I was going toe to toe. I could see if I was doing all of those things. I didn't. You know, even there were some times, even in the lounges when they'll go back and forth, even when people get smart with me, you got it. Okay. I'm not trying to get into that space with you, right? And so my biggest thing here is as a business owner, you have to be, when those things go out into the atmosphere, I'm going to be spending twice as much time because we don't do business with her because we heard she's a problem. And when I was talking to Tommy, I said, you have to think about this. As Black women, the majority of us are head of our household. I said, for many of us, we are our head of the household. As Black women, we are the head of the household. So when you say things like that, it doesn't just affect me. In corporate, it affects my earning potential. Bonuses are going to be shorted. Oh, we don't want her on the team because we heard she's combative. Oh, we don't want to promote her because we heard she's combative. Oh, we don't want to do this.
Hard to work with.
Exactly. It puts out the trope of every angry Black anything that can go into the atmosphere. And so it's not just, when we think about Black women's money, it's not just my money. It's grandma's insulin. It's JoJo's baseball practices. So and so. So you're hurting an entire household with the mislabeling of people simply because you don't understand them or you may not like them, right? There are plenty of people within this season who are just not my people, right? But I would never label you within the standpoint of you are being X, Y, and Z and you've not exhibited that behavior.
Right.
Like that's
and just
where I have an
group
issue.
you.
Yeah.
A lot of these people I've never seen in my entire life.
I've never seen any of them except for her.
Never lunch, brunch, crunch, hunch. Nothing would ever even come across my desk. I honestly, I'm not even trying to be funny. Even though I'm never I'm not never regularly in Dallas. But in the event, in these years I've said, like, I don't feel like we had a lot in common. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so it was a gap to where I had to feel myself. And I think I've even said this in the lounge. I feel myself coming down to meet other people's genre.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it was very unfair because then it was just me just saying, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I was going to be my normal silly self. I'm not at a job interview. I don't feel myself having to put my best foot forward when there's all this foolishness going around.
And you know, for me,
because when I get angry.
Yeah.
I get angry. Handcuffs will be used.
I remember that lounge, in the first lounge, when you and Tequila got into it, and you're like, "Are you okay?
Are you okay?" It was a temperature check because I'm like, yeah, I want to make sure I need to unleash. Because when I unleash, but it's like whenever she said, speaking of that, whenever she said, and you could get it too.
To me, yeah.
But you're a combative person. Listen, I want to tell you something. God knew. God be sitting next to me whenever I'm in places. He on my shoulder. He's on my back, relaxing, massaging me. Saying Sierra's gonna be okay.
You're right.
It's gonna be okay. Because let her have said that to me. I actually had a conversation with Tequila about a tweet. It was a comment that she made. One of our cast members made on Instagram, and I'm just like, come on now, girl. You're not on that.
Did y'all get a resolve though?
It wasn't a resolution. It was just more so me asking her, what did you mean by that? She couldn't provide me with an answer. Like, what do you mean if you go down the list of things you could call me? You don't have an easy name. Your name's not Jasmine. Your name's not Sarah. I'm not an Academy Award winning Oscar nominee. I'm not an actress yet.
You better speak into the atmosphere.
I'm not an actress yet, girlfriend.
You better speak into the
I didn't remember her name, and I literally had to practice it before the show. Like, Tequila. Don't fucking know. Anyway, so yeah. So I wanted that exchange to not be on Instagram. I got your number. I called her. I mean, I texted her. So that's how real women do their stuff. Yeah. I'm not into that, like, because I'm for real about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You won't get to have like the masses make their opinion on me when I know who I am. It could be just me and you. And most people don't even get into they don't get into combative situations when it's just them. Yeah. They put on when it's people around.
And I think that is a very, very good point, right? Like,
yeah.
I think like a lot of I feel like a lot of things this season could have been just discussed. Like, we are all grown women. Come on now.
Yeah. You think that I want to so with you? I really don't even want to be here with these Negroes.
With an honest conversation too, right?
It could have been done. Like, these guys, like, I'm having a hard time even bonding with them. So it's like, us as women, we could at least just had.
And it was so funny because we were all in a group chat. For the majority of the season, all of us in the group chat laughing, kikiing, talking about our dates. And then, I feel like I even said in one of my interviews, I was like, I don't know. I don't think all of us got the memo that there was something wrong going into the cash strip, right? Because I felt like, we were all literally, because remember I said, let's all do pajamas, like a pajama jam one night, and let's kind of go from there. It is what it is. I think, one thing about doing this show, if you're looking back on it, it's just like, we have given people the opportunity to write our narrative and to define who we are in the public eye of other people.
Speaking of such, so there was a question during game night.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I do want to speak on that because, mind you, I am a daughter. My mom is a very heavily Christian woman.
Yeah.
And whatever, and I don't regret nothing. Let me make that clear. I don't regret none of my answers.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was unfair for those cards to be dealt the way they were dealt. I felt like, and I don't want to be like just this it's a conspiracy or whatever, but like, why was those particular questions aired? Because they fit the narrative of that person. Like with Chris's question of gender roles, or, you know, everybody talking about gender roles, but they only aired his answer because they knew it was going to become of a thing. And then with me, with the whole, have you ever slept with the same sex and da da da. And for me, people said, I seen the feedback of, Sierra went too far by speaking her truth. My thing is this. My best friends, and everybody's seen when I brought my friends. My friend Delton, like, I have friends that are like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out every weekend. Like, I go to all the prides, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the community. I support people. But my thing is, don't out me. Don't out me. Don't make me out myself. Don't make me because had I said, hell no, it would have been okay. But the fact that I was truthful and said, okay, yes, I have slept with a woman. It wasn't for me. That was my truth. And now I'm being ridiculed because it's like, just because I said I've done that and I said it wasn't for me. Now it's like I'm having to defend myself, stepping on light feathers to make sure that I don't offend anyone else, that it's a problem if I was liking. Yes. So now they call me DL when we know
Girl, don't even put energy into that.
Yes, it was very heartbreaking to know that our community, our Black community, are still fighting against. Like, in the event, okay, what if I was bisexual?
But what does it
Who
matter?
cares?
What does it matter?
And it was just hurtful because I never seen it turned on me. Yeah, I was like, what? Girls can't have a little fun?
No. I think in this space.
And I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
Hey, it's your truth.
It's my truth.
And the thing, what's so funny is, like, many people don't live in their truth, which is why it makes them so easy to come for somebody else because they don't know what that's like.
Right.
They've never experienced it before. And so even with that whole gender roles conversation, and it was
horrible.
How many times did I say I do not want to play?
You were quiet. Listen, I remember you were laying. And then producers did have to tell you to participate.
How many times? Because I'm like, I do not want. I know at this moment that whatever I say is going to be received differently.
Mind you, we have been drinking. The whole cast have been drinking the whole entire day. My thing is this: you don't spring
serious topics up like that.
You don't bring religion. The Cowboys.
None of those things.
You don't say those things. You don't say those things.
So I was like, I didn't participate. I said several times, I don't want to play. I don't want to play. I don't want to play. And the girl was like, no, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your insight. Oh, okay. Well, you do. And so I shared my piece, and then they cut me off, and I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, y'all not trying to hear me. You just want to talk over me. And they literally used that piece to make it look like I was having a conversation with old boy, when I was literally talking to the group. Like, the edits this season have been mind-blowing, like, as to how they put things where they want it to go, and you know, to create the narrative. Because I have not spoken to some of those people since the friend date. And I told production, I will not be talking to this person going forward.
Wow.
Like, there's nothing positive that comes out of it. But I will say this, nothing that I enjoy.
I will say this, and Carlos had to bring it to my attention. I hate to bring it back to that conversation. He was like, Sierra, be sure to be mindful, like, going forward. It was like, they can only edit what you say. So it's like,
which is why I decided to be quiet, because I'm like, if I don't give them nothing,
then
they won't do it. But
so it's like, how much
quiet, because now it's like, well, we're gonna make up what we want to think, because she ain't saying nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then now you're looking like, now they're judging. I seen it go from what you said to now that you're not saying anything, they're using your facial expressions. And now you're looking like, she don't want to be here. She's mean. Look at her face. But we knew what we signed up for. And it's so unfortunate that I had no idea that it was going to be this excruciating.
Me either.
No shade. I would probably
like stressing. I'm like, I was rolling my eyes, not at that, but at that, and they put my eye, like, even the whole thing they try to make between me and you about the whole plate thing for Maria.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, y'all really think me and Sierra, number one, are fighting? 2, fighting over a man. And 3, fighting.
I think you called me right after I got eliminated. Oh, I called you?
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, girl, please, I'm finna go to Coachella. I was so happy. I was like, oh, girl, thank you. Because I have been expressing to you, because you was like, Sierra, you peeped it that one day when I was ready to like be done with this whole situation. And you were basically like, Sierra, like, like every day we would go to the ladies' lounge. You thought it was my day that I was going to bust out and be like, I quit. But
listen, I understood where you was because I felt where you was and I was where you were.
I just never wanted anybody that I probably would have never. And listen, let me tell you, with this whole experience, the main thing was me stepping outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
None of these men will be my type of guys that I would ever, never.
We do that from the mixer.
Yes, from the mixer. Me walking in, I knew, Sierra, you're not attracted to anybody here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I think the whole other part of the whole experience and me trusting in the experience was step outside of your comfort zone. Maybe your husband or whatever the case may be. Maybe your person is someone that you would naturally be or that you would naturally attract. You know what I'm saying? Because I will say this, I am a choosy lover. Every man that I've been with in a serious relationship, I have chose them. Like, I get exactly what I'm looking for because I know exactly what that is. But sometimes, so I thought like maybe Sierra, maybe you don't know. Maybe you should just trust this process. But no.
It's different because, for me, girl, I was like, so I don't know if you know, I had did a matchmaker before doing this.
I'm screaming.
I did because listen, I know that I am like overly picky. Like I was overly picky. I mean, down to the type of school you went to. Like, I wanted a certain type of something. Like, you can go to a research top 10, D1, if you play football. Like,
right.
It was very... And so with this, I knew another thing I couldn't do, too, was leave. Because I am quick to cut something off and...
That's how I am now.
Like, abort
Judge
mission.
Judy.
Yeah.
I'm Judge Judy. I'm Judge Judy right now.
Yeah, and so I was like, how can I'm going to do this process. I'm going to go through here. I'm going to sit through it. I'm going to make it work, whatever. But the one thing that I thought I was like, okay, I had 2 connections the entire show. That was it. Marie and oh boy. That was it. Like, I was like, there's no reason for me to try to maneuver around. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, But I think too, within this process, it really made me think, does your list of what you have really matter?
Right.
And a lot of things I thought about it, they did in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't. Like, is this person
I'm the opposite.
You? No, the things on my list. Does it matter that he's 6 feet tall? No.
Oh, you had those on your list.
Yeah, 6 feet tall. I wanted you to go to a certain school. I wanted you to be connected to a certain social circle. I needed you to be my +1 at Martha's Vineyard. I needed you to be able to. I needed you to be able to socialize. Like, it was so many things.
In the jail.
You have to be able to talk, all of this kind of stuff that, to be honest, when I look back, it was great on paper. And these were a lot of things that my aunties had on their list of what was ideal man. Right. And so me just sitting up under there, I adapted a lot of these things to my list. And now that I got older, I'm like, Jessica, these things really don't matter. Like, what school he went to doesn't matter. Like, I have friends who graduated from Harvard and they're just doing horrible. And they're not great people. So just find somebody that loves you and appreciates you. And so I went this process, like, find a good person.
Right.
And just find a good person.
Yeah. I think though my list, like I was saying, I feel like it was offsetting and it was different for me is because it's like my thing was I am not gonna let someone that I probably wouldn't have never dated tell me that I am ready to, because it's like you're not even my type.
Yeah.
And it's not even physical. My list was never even physical. I don't think that was ever a thing. My issue has always been my tolerance level. Why am I tolerating this too long? Like, why am I staying too long? So that was always my thing. So it was more so a me thing that I had to work on.
And we talked about that at Aries' house.
Yeah.
We played that game with her.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break, go to commercial real quick, get a word from our sponsors who are allowing us to participate in this. Ezra Coffee for sure.
Yes. And I'm going to get me another. I'm going to get me a refill.
Yes, we can do a refill as we take a quick commercial break. Welcome back to to the So OffScript podcast. I am your host, Jessica Taylor, and I am joined here with my really good friend and castmate from season 8 of Ready to Love Dallas, Sierra SV,
Hey, y'all.
the Strictly Blonde, the stylist, the activist, the auntie, and most importantly, reality TV star.
Yes.
Loving it, girl. Okay, so this next clip is very interesting because we're talking about communication yet again. Another thing that I think was missing this season. So let's get into it.
Let's see.
How you doing, bro?
I don't know, man. I really don't know how to feel, man. This process is, I mean, I'm sure it's been tough for us all.
Sometimes how one simple word can come across like a left hook with your guard down.
I agree.
I know I messed up. Jessica's hurt because of how I expressed who she is perceived to be. I don't feel that she's combative.
I know she kind of feels attacked in that
Stabbing
manner.
in the back.
Yeah. Even though it was a collective of how we talked to Tommy, to her, they're gonna mean more just because they came from your mouth. So you gotta have that conversation with her because that is your top connection.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point it was his only connection, right? And then they threw Kat in there.
And be honest, okay? Yeah.
Was that her connection? I don't
wasn't.
remember.
It was on because me and Maria connected at Stir. Actually, we connected at the mansion, but then we went on our first date and stuff at Stir back when Kira, Marvin, and when they introduced her to the season. So it was pretty consistent. I mean, with these edits, we've been dating. Me and him been dating throughout the entire thing. I don't know when they're gonna show these dates, but it's been. And you were dating them too during the entire thing. So I don't know when if they plan on showing these things, but yeah, these edits are interesting. But yeah, they connected. They went on their first date after the cast trip.
Oh wow. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, that was new for me when I seen it on Friday. I was like, I didn't know that they were a thing.
Yeah, it was different. So in this particular scene, I think one thing we were looking at too was the understanding of at this point it's out. The verbiage is out. I am beyond pissed because I just don't feel like that had been the experience. You know what I'm saying? Like I even asked, I think because you were gone at this time, I asked everybody, I said, did you say that? Did you say that? Did you say that?
Yeah, so that's what makes it hard for me to comment on it because I wasn't there. I feel like as a viewer, because now I'm a viewer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me I was really bamboozled but me seeing it, I'm cringing because it's like, all the ladies in the ladies' lounge are like taking up for Chris, but I'm like, when they pull the playback, it's like he did say that. Mm-hmm. Necessarily wasn't. It was like a Habibi thing. Like it doesn't matter. I was offended. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things. They tried to say, "Oh, he didn't say F your mom. He said your mama ain't shit."
What's the difference?
For me,
how it hits
like as far as like, okay, who cares about the editing thing or whatever, but there was more context. The date wasn't 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it was other things that he was saying that was leading up to making me so frustrated or whatever. And like I still to this day say, Habibi looks the hell good.
Yeah.
He looks good. Mm-hmm. Like he's not an ugly man. He looks good. I feel like a lot of people cannot handle or get nervous or just their real personality and their real self does not come out on camera. So they just start sporadically saying stuff and you just sound like a crazy person now. Like, why'd you say that?
Yeah.
Like,
even too, I think some people are just cautious of what's going to be on camera.
That was
me. Oh, yeah, I would say that was definitely me because, but you know what's so crazy? Like, I feel like a lot of my funny moments, like at the hoedown, you remember when I was dancing coming down the Soul Train line? Wasn't used.
Wasn't aired.
Wasn't
because
used.
I feel like
when I was leading all the line dances, like outside, wasn't used. It was used in promo, but it wasn't used there. The conversation that me and Red had in the hammock when we was over there freestyling and cracking jokes and stuff wasn't used. It was like, let's continue to illustrate her as being serious, as being firm, and not fun. And I feel like that's the edit that has kind of went across. And so at this rate, no matter what you do, you're not going to fight it. And then, of course, with old boy's verbiage,
my thing is this.
It doesn't help.
Right. I feel like they did. And as much as I want to be like, oh, they just did it I feel like they did it to everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone had a role to play. And I feel like I had to own, because that's, in reality, it happens a lot in my life.
Yeah.
It's like when I show up to my part, like with my friends, if I'm not laughing and joking, Sierra must have a death in the family. If I'm not playing around, it's like, oh, you're serious now. But it's like, but my friends, like people that know me, they're like, okay, there's the times when Sierra is going to be serious. And there's times, most of the time I'm having fun. I'm a life of the party. It's cool. Mm-hmm. My thing is this. It's like when you're, what do you call that? When you're in a car and you just have to, if you fight back, what are you hydroplaning?
Yeah.
Hydroplaning. So it's like, your car is going out of control. And sometimes you have to let the wheel go.
Yeah.
Cause like if you fight against it, it's not going to do no good. It's going to make you crash out.
Yeah.
So what I do is like, that's what's been helping me throughout this whole process is like, I'm going to let them think, whatever. Okay, yeah, I'm goofy. I'm funny. I'm silly. I got eliminated because I'm too fun. But also, like on the digital exclusive, when they forced me to have a conversation with Phil. Phil is an amazing guy. Let me start there.
He is really nice.
Phil is so good.
So nice.
You know what I'm saying?
And supportive.
And it's supportive. He's really like, he has a genuine heart. From what I have, my encounters. So it's like people got to see like just me not playing around. But it's like there was a lot of times. There was times where I was angry. They didn't
Very
show.
much so.
Y'all, cause if had y'all seen everything Sierra was doing, it wouldn't have been Janelle. It would have been SB. Y'all would have hated me. Cause I was throwing a fit. Like,
I remember that.
Like this. Don't play with me. Why didn't y'all show me and Herbert? I had a beautiful Loewe gown
that was cute. That was cute.
And I was furious at production. I'm like, what? But like, I was told, I was like, Sierra, don't go against the grain. Own what you don't backpedal. Whatever the hell, let this shit just be what it is. As long as you know, because you know the vulnerability it was going to take to come on a TV platform like this. We knew. This is when our village kicks in.
Let me tell you, when I tell you I owe everybody in my village a Louis Vuitton bag right now. Like,
your village is gonna kick in right now. Now it's like
my village. Oh, all of them need a new Louis, a new something. Because when I tell you, I have been calling them like, I didn't say that. That's not what happened. I didn't put that right there. I didn't roll my eyes at that. And they're like, Jessica,
we know you. We know you.
They were like, these people don't know you. And after this airs, they gonna be on thinking about the next thing. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I was like, but that's not, because a lot of, there are two things going on.
That's what we need to be thinking about the next thing.
Exactly.
I'm already halfway through the season. I'm like, okay, what's next for Sierra? Because this is done.
This is minor. And the thing is too, like,
old food.
This is not the best, this is not the biggest thing that's happened to me.
And for some people, that's the only thing that's going to happen.
It's not going to be, and that's why I'm not bothered with, I had to get to a place where I said, F it. You know what I'm saying? People are going to ride for you and people are not. I said, but my biggest thing within a lot of this, even with the whole combative thing, granted, you want to miss it. My issue is since episode 3, you have been negatively discussing me. Negatively. Jessica with them strong vocal cords. Okay, so now I'm loud. Like, I didn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? I just came into the room. Well, she's a strong black woman. Like, can you just call me by my name? Or just not say anything? Like, all of these adjectives and everything that you've been throwing it since week 3. How much can somebody take the high road and just not get ultimately frustrated? And then when I check you and I ask you, you lie. You blatantly lie. Now I'm just furious. And I'm like, the only thing I can do at this moment, because they're looking for good TV. They want me to pop. They want me to scream. They want me to cut the fool. Only thing I can do in this moment is just get off camera. Like, I'm just going to go to my room. Y'all figure it out.
See, me, they wasn't going to run me off camera. They was going to run me off camera permanently. But not they was going to run me. I knew what I wanted to happen. I knew exactly how far I could take it. Because granted, like, no matter what nobody said, oh, Sierra, you can't self-eliminate. You can't do this right now. you need to do this, and they was encouraging me because I was
Heavy
there for
on the can't self-eliminate.
Yeah.
For some.
So, as much as they tried to, if nobody was holding me hostage, they didn't handcuff me, I could have literally not shown up anymore.
Exactly.
I could have broke contract and not shown up. But my thing is this. Nobody was going to do that to me. Granted, I did not want to do it anymore.
Yeah. A lot of us, as I said, heavy on the self-eliminate because so many of us said the exact same thing.
I'm happy that I did because you know what was my best episode? I feel like where it really showed, and even my godmom, shout out to my godmom. Hey. Miss Noreen told me that, she's like, Sierra, I finally seen the total you, like that's me on that last episode before I got eliminated.
Absolutely.
And I was so fearful of that episode because I knew I had been drinking. We had Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm slurring. I'm talking on the side of my mouth. I'm looking like I'm looking like that. So I'm just like, I'm so fearful. I'm dreading this. That was the only episode I was worried about. And when it came, I'm like, oh my God, this is why people love me. Because that is me. This is why people love me. And I was unapologetically myself. I told my truth. When my mom called me after the episode, I'm like, oh my God, I got outed on national TV. Well, I outed myself. I'm like, okay, Sierra, you done slept with a woman. I don't give a damn. Da, 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 da. My mom, she said, Sierra, that was an interesting episode. I said, what do you mean? I said, did you love it? She said, you look fabulous.
You did.
I said, okay, it's on and popping now. So my mama, I don't care what nobody thinks. I'm laughing, I'm kikiing. I don't care. Mm-hmm. But people do really need to realize that this stuff affects our lives. A lot of my clients, my biggest client, he has spent, God can strike me down. He has spent nearly $200,000 with me within the last revolving year, buying nothing but clothes, right? He has never heard my voice before. We do business transactions via email. He does wire transfers. He does this, whatever, right? For him, and I'm fearful in that matter of like this. I don't want people that I do heavy business with to take me as a clown. Like that I play too much. How are you going to trust me with that amount of money? You transferring that to my account and I play too much.
Yeah.
But y'all are highlighting me on this show, but that's what I signed up for. Yeah. And people don't understand that. It's like Sierra handles business. I handle big business.
Well, and the thing with you is for that you don't handle anything. And that's all I do. Like they permitted me is like, oh, all she does is business. She's so serious. She's
when
not
this girl
fun.
plays, let me tell you something.
I was like,
she plays too much.
Very much. That's the problem. I was like, I be clowning.
You be clowning.
And I was like, y'all don't want to show none of that. Even when Herbert was here, he was like, I'm just mad that they didn't show all of you. Like,
because my thing is this. Let's be for real. Me and you click, right?
Yep.
Do you think that I would be sitting up here with Miss Prue, Jude, and which I do have friends that are more conservative than me, because opposites attract. But come on now, the most heinous jokes that I make, your tonsils are in the air.
Because you're not that deep.
You're right, but I'm saying like you are so fun, and I really appreciate you as a person.
Oh, thank you,
as a business owner, like you are that girl. So I hate that narrative got spin out like that. And I do know that no one's perfect. Yeah. We might have said things just like out of anger or just because there's 50,000 cameras that pointing at us. Mm-hmm. But everything is perfect.
She didn't say that. The combative thing came from old boy. Oh yeah, she didn't say that. The combative thing came from old boy. But yeah. It's unfortunate, right? Because it's just kind of like we don't like each other. We don't want to connect. Fine, we can move on and not drag people, because as messy as this show is, don't you think?
I love the mess.
Don't you think that if I was in these confessionals dragging and talking nasty about people, don't you think they would have aired it?
Yeah,
but I wasn't. And that's the entire thing. Like, I wasn't. Like, if I was doing that, they would have made sure that they aired it.
Right.
Because it would have fit their narrative of me being mean, angry, whatever. But that wasn't the case. And that's the thing that I just hated. I was like, I said so many funny things in my confessionals. And you know what another thing?
We do gotta realize it's this, though. So the producers, they film this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. They film everything. I think that's, Will Packer, they film all this stuff. They work for them. Then they send it off to the editing team. So that's So a lot of this stuff, they're gagging at too. So it's like, that's why my relationship hasn't been bruised with a lot of the producers. And I do want to make that clear. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to actually myself question, what is the process? Y'all are simply in charge of creating the footage, getting the film, and they send it away, and they no longer have charge of that.
And see, that part I think is something that a lot of people don't know. And a lot of people don't understand. Even when you think about makeup and cameras, like it's like doing a video through transfer. When you transfer sometimes, it's gonna look different. Because my makeup did not look like that.
Oh man!
Oh my god, it did not. Like I would not be showing up with my makeup looking like that. So that was that thing. And I think we all understood that at some level, right? I just was like, oh, I just hope that they get. But you know something else I noticed? A lot of my funny stuff is like black church stuff. And you know the team that edits don't look like us. So if you're not raised in like black church, you're not gonna get a lot of my commentary, you know. And another thing too is I remember when I was doing my interviews, they'll be like, "Say it back to me, but say it serious. Like don't say it laughing. Bring it back. Say it back to me." Right. Because they'll say the scene that this is going to is a serious scene, but you're in here laughing, kikiing doing your interviews. Like I have producers in tears, like in cry. But because guess what? It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a TV show. So we got another clip. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say, like, it really ignited a fire within me. I enjoy TV and the suspense of how it works. And I feel like it's a lot of work that goes behind it. And I think that is the part that we are all missing, because we're all like wrapped in the drama part of it, and it's very unfortunate because it's very real. Like what the hell, like what is going on? But listen, like we have, like me and I'm speaking for me and you, we have to really give ourselves a pat on the back, because that was some hard work.
It was
that we did.
It was hard, and we were running businesses at the same time. You remember that first lounge? I had that shipment issue.
Yes,
when half of you were.
Listen, you were tweaking. So I said, wait a minute.
I was so pissed. Like so for those who don't know, the first lounge, we're filming, and I get a text from the warehouse that only half of my shipment from China was there. And we had to get this big mass order into our retailers, about 50 stores, and they all wanted a 30-day supply.
Right.
And half of the shipment was missing. And I'm like, I don't care what y'all talking about right now in this lounge. I don't care who y'all like. I'm trying to get up out of here so I can get my money. So can we vote and move on?
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
I think that was the second episode when you was like, chill.
It was.
The cape on. I gotta go. Pink. That was a pink outfit.
That was pink. I gotta go.
Through outfits, of course.
Yeah, I gotta go. All right, we got one more clip. Well, not one more. We got two more. We're gonna look at this and see what happens.
Okay.
When that came out, I knew Maria didn't say that. Maria has not had that experience with me. The one person who I have had these disagreements with has been Chris. And the word combative was used on the date with his ex. I knew exactly where it came from.
He told me he did not say that.
He told me he didn't say it too.
You know, like he was just like, I never said she was combative. That's the one word he was like, I did not say that she was combative.
Because he's a liar.
But Maria said it out of his mouth. Regardless if he meant it or not, he didn't have to use that word. He could have said something else if he wanted to communicate whatever the other guys were saying.
The thing is, a coward would allow another man to stand here and take the fall for something that you said.
And not own up to it.
It's just, he's unnecessary. And unfortunately, he can't buy me anything. Yeah. And that's the real gotcha.
Did he try to buy you something? Or is why you're using that as a, I'm very curious.
First, be very clear. This is not to you.
Okay. Because I'm asking, like, if he didn't try to buy you anything, then the reference is trying to shade me, and I'm trying to get it correct.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
So, two things can be correct. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, now, you know, the ladies' lounge have not been the same since I've been.
This was the only one we had without you.
Hello? Mic check 1 2 1 2.
The only one we had without you.
The only one that was set without me, and it was pure chaos. So my thing is this: I feel like instead, I feel like it could have been two different views. It could have been like, instead of saying, "Oh, he didn't say that," he's like, "I could have." Me, in my opinion, I would have been like, "Oh, he didn't say that," but like, there's a chance that he could have been not truthful. Like, it's just too. And you know what? And I have nothing against Chris or whatever the case may be. I don't. Me and him have nothing, like,
Yeah.
whatever the case. I just feel like it was a real crazy situation in that lounge. It was unfair. It was weird. It was very, that's not what women's supposed to be doing. And it was crazy.
Well, the other thing is, like, I've been expressing over and over. Think about the lounge with Kira. I said, I'm going to put some distance between us because what he's saying.
But I will say this, though. And I hate to interrupt you. I will say this. What Aries said, I do agree on that. I feel like if I was Maria, and I hate to throw him under the bus, but if I was him, I would have said either one, say it directly on who said it, or don't say it at all and have a private conversation with you. Because he could have had made a choice to not say that. And I'm just going to be 100% real. That's because my man ain't going to be saying it. Like, don't be embarrassing me. Or whatever the case may be. And no offense to you or nor him. But that's just what that is. Because it's important for me to not be embarrassed. That's what I hold for me.
Yeah.
That's big for me.
That's big for everybody. I feel like that's where everybody is on this stage. Like,
yes, like, don't embarrass me. Like, don't do it. Save me at all costs. That's just my thing. So, with that, I do agree on that part. But on the same spin, I don't feel like people was having an open mind and I was gagging while watching as a viewer, because I wasn't there. As a viewer, seeing that him and them rolling that beautiful beam footage of him actually saying those words. Not necessarily verbatim saying, "Oh, you are combative," but we all know. But he said he was the only one who said the word combative, and even Lee had it on the digital exclusive, asking him, "I want to make sure," because she was like, "You have a gray area. Like, I want it to be black and white. Did you or did you not say it?" And he did still lie and act like he just never heard the word combative in his life, and that's just what that was. But now everybody's like, okay, so he did say it, but you are combative. It went from, oh, I didn't say that and defending that point to now it's like, oh, as a matter of fact, well, F it then. You are combative. Like, it's not just like, okay, we're just going to attack her. And that's unfortunate and it's horrible. And I didn't agree with that.
Well, the thing is, too, I've been saying since the beginning, like, I'm having a different experience. This is not what's happening, whatever. And no matter what I would say, it will always be, well, he didn't do that to me. And I'm like, and that is perfectly fine. But within my experience, this is what I've experienced. And I should be able to communicate what my experience was without feeling like I need to defend everything.
That's how it was with Habibi and, see, I don't want to do it again. What is her name? Tequila. Remember when she was defending Tequila and me and Janelle had said that we had a horrible experience. She was like, oh, he's been nothing. He's a DJ. He takes it for his father. And I hate to keep bringing this child up, but it's like, that's the same exact situation.
I think that when you're dating multiple people, everyone has different lived experiences. And we have to allow people to express whether they're your friend, whether you guys connected, whether you've bonded or whatever, you still have to be open to another person expressing their experience.
Right.
And that's all that it
guys
is.
That I've dated. There's girls that probably will write a novel on how horrible this guy, and he very well might have been a horrific person to this girl.
Yeah.
But for me, he's been showing up. Been a great father. In fact, I made him want to do better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
both can be true.
Both can be true.
Yeah. I think
don't make me feel like my experience with this guy is okay because he feels like he can buy me. For me, if you was to say that to me, I might be on my short on a couple of dollars and that'd be good for me.
But see, that's not so. But that part's not even there. What was taking place was, and they cut that to be messy. But when I was having a conversation with Tommy, I was telling him, I said, for me, and I even talk about it at the reunion since we've already taped it. So we'll see if they air that correctly too. But what I was saying was, I don't want to be in a position with a man, because I was talking about mortgages, because I was talking about a conversation that me and him had, and he was talking about, you know, I paid for this, I paid for that, I took care of this, I paid this guy's mortgage off, whatever. And what I was saying was, for the type of man I don't want the man that I date to be the biggest person in his circle. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want that to be the case, because one, you're not receiving any critical feedback. You're not growing, because everyone around you needs you. And in that same space, she says, when we on the phone, we talk about me and him. And that's fine.
It's different experiences.
It's different
Some
experience.
men feel a need to impress a woman that's higher of stature.
Possibly. Who knows? I don't know. But that wasn't there. So, and then after that, and so it was like, I said, you can't buy me anything. And if you go back to the beginning, that's been a theme, you know, throughout there. And so it was never, and I even put that on Twitter because people were saying it was never a direct shade to her. And I told her very clearly, this is not about you. And I even said, this is about the mortgage comment. Like, I said it right then and there, right? So I had no reason to shade her. For what?
Yeah.
Like, me and him been disconnected since I said it in the lounge with Kira. I came back and said, remember I said, I'm going to let him go so he can love you other ladies. I literally said that in the last lounge, in the lounge before this. I said that I'm going to let him go so he can love you other ladies. Because this is not working. It's not connecting. You know, we talk on the phone is one thing, but I noticed when I showed up the camera, it was always a different energy, a different something. I was like, okay, so something's not matching. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, if you say, I love how you really, because remember we had our cast meeting, and it was like, I love how you handled that meeting. You really took control. You really like kind of showed this. I love to see that. Even in some of the earlier commentary, she takes charge. This is what I'm hearing. But then when I show up, it's like, oh no, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I want. So I'm like, I don't really know how to move within this. I'm just going to step off because this is not creating a great experience for the both of us. There are other people who like you. There are other people who like me. Let's just amicably split and go our separate ways and call it a day.
Right.
That's the end of it. But I'm not going to go and do that and then decide to do something else. So I know we got one more clip. So let's get into that. We're going to take a quick commercial break and hear what we got to see about this next one. Alrighty, so we are back. I'm your host, Jessica Taylor, with the So OffScript podcast, back with my girl, Sierra. So she is going to be here to discuss a little bit about this amazing episode that we have going on. But
the greatest episode.
I know you had a good time. So we're going to check in with that here. So without further ado.
This has been a tough decision. Such a great weekend. I think we've all, been enjoying ourselves. But it also is a process, at the end of the day as well. Man. Jessica, please step forward.
My anxiety is now through the roof.
Sierra, please step forward.
It's my time. Here we go. I'm hoping that maybe the conversations that me and Marie had, that maybe it really hit home for him.
So as you all know, me and the fellas met with Tommy today. Jessica, a lot of the guys feel that you are a great friend, a great businesswoman, sometimes possibly combative, and wondering if there is a romantic or intimate side of you.
But what you're not gonna do is call me combative. It is heinous, it is rude, and it was malicious.
Sierra, the guys feel that you're a great time, but that your playful energy can be too much sometimes. And also wondering if there is just a homie type of relationship or if there is a romantic side of you as well. And I think for me, why this is so tough is because obviously I have a connection with both of you ladies. But this is, again, it's not about Marie. as a whole, it's still the process more than anything.
Right.
And because of the process, in this moment, the fellas feel that
It might be a possibility. I might be going home.
in this moment, the fellas feel that Sierra,
Yes.
you are no longer ready to love.
Say your goodbyes, Sierra.
Bye, y'all. I'm gonna miss you, girl.
Friend.
Gosh, shut up, Laboshka.
Friend.
Shut up, Laboshka.
You know I was sad.
Listen, everybody was sad. Kat was crying. There's wheeling my Louis luggage out. I said, okay. Listen, I wanted to run down that little trap. I said, girl, get me out of here.
Get your shout on.
Huh?
Get your shout on. Listen, running around the kingdom, okay? Running around the
Shut up.
It was an interesting, and I think a lot of, within this, I think we all know at some point you're going to be in the bottom, right? Whether it was on a bubble date or through a whole elimination.
Listen, production told me, they said, Sierra, stop drinking. I said, why? He said, because we don't want you to trip. I said, trip? I'm not finna trip. I'm finna skip.
Oh, here.
Yeah. So it was like, no, she was like, Sierra, like, yeah, it's fine. Like, in so many words. So I knew in so many ways I knew.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay. I thought I was going to be going home that night, but I ended up going home the next day, which I was mad because I had to get somebody to go take care of my dog. Because I told my dog, I said, I'm going to be right back. My man's spending.
You so silly. No, I didn't. And I'm sorry. I think people are just upset. Like, oh, that we're mad because they're, she's upset. At some point in this process, somebody's going to be there. Everybody done been on a bubble date at this time, I think, by now, except for Aries. You know what I'm saying? So
oh, yeah.
That was, it was literally about it. So I don't really think it was that. And I just think it was a very, very unique space. And I think, with anything, is like,
I was shook that they did it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
That I was the one that, because I'm like, because a lot of people were tweeting, it was like, Sierra, you was even clowning at the elimination. And I'm like, I was clowning because it's like, Tommy was clowning too. Like, they tried to make it seem like Tommy was disgusted with me because I was clowning.
Oh, he literally asked you to go on tour with him and do like a
stand-up, right? Yeah. And Tommy's like, Sierra, the floor is always open for you. Like, if you want to go on tour with me, I was like, I don't want to be no comedian. This shit is for real. You laughing at an illness. It's an illness. I'm sick. I'm sick.
I said I'm delusional. I'm delusional. No, it was interesting to say the least. But I was like, I don't think anybody's tripping on the elimination process, right? Like,
No.
At some point, you're gonna get it. It's just the verbiage. And I've done an elimination.
You're not ready to love.
I've done an elimination, and the thing too.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, because like when you do it, they give you, okay, these are notes. This is what someone said.
And mind you, they're standing behind you.
Right.
Hurry up and tell them. Hurry up and buy.
Big words. Big words. So yeah, that was interesting. But you know how that goes. People want to show their clip and show their side and everything else. So
I know.
We shall see. All right.
And then they made it seem like it was just a smooth transition. Like y'all just went on about y'all day. The girls were grieving.
Tears. Bringing the what you call it?
Look.
Bringing the benediction.
The benediction. They need the funerals, the fried chicken. What's better, funeral fried chicken or baby shower?
Meatballs. I would say I'm on the baby shower meatballs because I really don't eat fried chicken like that. I like the skin.
Ooh.
But I don't necessarily want like the actual chicken.
Funeral fried chicken mean.
Ooh.
Ain't nothing. Listen, remember when you used to get a whooping back in the day and your mama say, come down and eat? That was the best food you ever. After you cry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food is good.
And it is. Yeah. All right. So we got one more. This next clip we're going to review is the actual elimination of Oh Boy. Ad that we did at the wine bar.
So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is the big bomb.
Just, we had our conversations today. The ladies discussed. It was conversation around this past weekend and some of the verbiage. The word combative was very off-putting and extremely inappropriate. The sentiment for the room was that you're not ready to love.
I didn't call you combative. Whatever he said, that was on him. That came out of his words. So give me the same respect when I'm not around.
You clearly feel a way about something.
It ain't a something. Stop peddling around. We know what it is. Initially, you were my first connection until I realized how of a person you were, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, you are combative. You are a mean girl. You and Janelle both.
I think you're angry about some things that have nothing to do with me, and you assume that they do.
I'm not gonna just hold my tongue anymore because I'm trying to respect you as a woman, but you don't show me no respect.
You sure?
I'm a man first before I'm anything.
So at what point did you feel disrespected?
You don't know about me. So you and everything about you.
Chris has lost his entire mind, but if he wants to act the fool, he wants to scream and holler and cuss, that's fine. I'm glad that I actually saw the real Chris.
All right, so we are back. I'm your host, Jessica Taylor, and I am here with my good girlfriend, Sierra, and cast member from Ready to Love Dallas Season 8.
Hey, y'all.
And so that was one heck of an elimination.
Let me tell you something. Girl.
It was interesting.
You don't know shit about me. That was a lot. My thing is this. As a viewer, and I'm speaking as a viewer, because at this point, I'm no longer a castmate.
Correct.
The editing was so horrible. It was so chopped and screwed, because I'm like, what he's saying is not even matching up to the reaction. So it's like, there's more to that. So at this point, want to ask you, what actually happened in that moment?
Yeah. So he comes in, I give him a hug, he sits down, and we start.
The hug was so brief.
Listen, I was raised to have manners. So he comes in, he sits down, and I literally said, let's just have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, elimination aside, let's just have a conversation. Because remember, I told production, I don't plan to speak to him after this date, because at our friend date, I had called him after the friend date and was like, hey, just calling to check in. Because remember, I said the energy was just off. Like, it was just, he came in with attitude.
You said that during
exactly.
Lounge.
I said he came in with attitude. So I called and I said, is everything okay? You know, I called, I was like, how's your day? Blah, 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 stuff. And then I said, well, I was just checking because your energy, so you didn't even care about my day. You didn't really ask me. You was just doing a build up to ask your question. You could have just asked. And I'm like, why are you upset? Why are you screaming?
Okay, y'all got into it before then.
It happened before then on the phone. And so I was like, let me make sure that I can get this to where someone else is, able to hear it, because if not, it'd be quickly my word versus yours, right? So that was it. So after that conversation, that's when I was like, I'm officially done. We had our lounge the next day. I was like, nope, this is not going to work. I'm done with this. I don't want to talk to him anymore, blah, blah, blah. So that was the end. So when he comes in, I said, let's have a conversation, because we've not spoken since then. Okay, so let's have. So we sit down, we had the conversation, and I wouldn't say it's a lot of back and forth, but it was, like, he was like, well, I wasn't really connecting with you because I was focused on my other connections. And I was like, sir, I had been your number one connection all the way up until this particular point, right? So we went through that, and then it went through, it was just more conversation, like back and forth. And so then he says, he repeated something back to me that was said in the ladies' lounge. So, the ladies' lounge and this date was the same day. So we filmed all this in the same day.
Right.
And so what he said to me was something that was said in the ladies' lounge. I don't talk to him on the phone. Janelle doesn't talk to him on the phone.
So that was reported back.
So it had already, somebody had already came back and told you something, because when he said it back to me, I was like, that's an interesting choice of words. Like, I know how I talk, and I know when I heard it, I knew exactly where it came from. And I said to him, that's your source? Like, that's the person who's been running you information about what's said in the lounge? Because you could have just asked me this and we could have cleared this up a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that deep. Because
what was it?
Conspire. They said, oh, so you and Janelle conspiring to get me kicked off the show. And so when he said it in the thing, he said, and so, yeah, you and your girl Janelle conspiring to get rid of me.
Wow.
And I was like, that's an interesting choice of words for you. And then he just looked like dead shot, like, yeah, you've been busted. Now I had already suspected it, but now it's confirmed. I knew you were getting something with something. Because if you're not talking to someone, because we weren't even really talking like during our dates, right? There would be no reason for you to always come heated, like, you know, coming with this kind of disposition all the time. And even then, the only 3 things I ever said about was you're not consistent, which I've said 45 times on camera. I said the comment about not wanting to date someone who's the biggest in their circle, and I stand on that. I don't. I said that in there as well too. And then the other conversation was too, I wanted to create some distance because what they were telling me on the phone and even a text message that I have and how they were showing up on camera were 2 different things, right? And so I'm like, if this is a situation where you just need to kick it with somebody until you get to the end, fine. You could have said that, right? But if don't try to fake it
to me.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, if you're trying to build a connection, but I shouldn't just hear from you on interview days and on date days. Like I'm talking to Marie consistently throughout the process. I only talk to you this day, that day, and each conversation is minutes or a text, you know, so it shouldn't be like that. So these are all things that are running around, that are ruminating in my mind when we're having this conversation. And it's very indicative of the behavior that I'm starting to see with this person consistently over and over. It's not consistent, right? So we're having that conversation. We're sitting there and talking, and I can see that he's getting irritated, right? So I stopped talking and I let him talk, right? And so he goes through this whole thing of, you know, I'm carrying Nigeria on my back and my whole country depends on me. And, you know, you didn't know that my father was deceased and how his father became deceased. And that's his business, so I'll never share that. But, you know, how that came about. And my mother's deceased, you know what I'm saying? So I understand. Yeah, thank you. I understand what that pain is like.
Yeah, it's like different type of pain.
It hits different. Like there is no, even during this process, the one person I wanted to call and vent and scream
oh my
was
gosh.
my mom.
And that has been like, literally, that's who I've been like after every episode. That's the first person I talk to.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine, and I just want to send my heart to you.
Oh no, thanks.
Yes,
like
for
even
sure.
Even the whole combative thing. When I went off camera, I was like, let me just go to my room. And the one person who I wanted to call and have that kind of talk to was her, and you don't have that, right? So when I said, okay, so I'm just sitting here listening, and he's upset, right? And so it's instead of going, and so then he, you know, says F you and everything about you, whatever. He stands up in that moment. Production walks over and stands in front of him and walks him out of that thing. When he stands up, he's walking out, okay? They bring him, we waited about 15, 20 minutes. They talk to him outside because he's very upset, whatever. Then they reset and redo the latter half of the scene. They bring him back in.
Which they could not air.
Exactly. They bring him back into scene and say, oh, okay, so what happened? You know, let's pick up here. And they were like, are you okay to move forward? Listen, that's fine. But he literally stood up, and that's when they came in and was like, okay, we're going to hold. And then she walked him out. That's exactly what happened. Like, I have it. So it is what it is. So then we went through that piece. And then afterwards, we kept going and he came back in. We picked up from there and continued to do the conversation, whatever. And then in that conversation, he says, because I said, are you okay? Are you better?
Right.
Are you finished?
Right.
And he was like, yeah. I said, okay, let's move forward. Like, I'm back to business. Let's move forward, right? And so we moved forward from that conversation. And so he says, can you hurry up and tell me what it is Tommy wanted you to say so that I can go ahead and go? And in that moment is when I say, well, the ladies have sat down and decided
because it was so
you were
choppy.
not ready to love. So that's how that all went out. He had jumped up and, you know, got out of his chair. Whatever word they want to use, your butt left that pine. You were standing up and someone escorted you out. However you want to define that is on you, but that's what happened. And it is what it is. So they did that, and then he came back in and put it. So the portion of me saying you're not ready to love, that was after he had already
because you can tell because the tones of the conversation. If you're really big, if you're I'm big on I'm a conversationalist. I really am. So like the tone, and I feel like everybody that was viewing it, because I think I spoke to you the date after everything happened, and you explained to me. But it's like as a viewer seeing it, I'm like, okay, I'm already knowing what happened. This doesn't, even the voice tone doesn't match. So it was like a lot of they can't, well, I don't understand why it wasn't shown.
And I had asked, I was like, y'all should have played first time, never seen, unedited footage. You know what I'm saying? Just so it would have been very crystal clear as to what actually took place. But I mean, it's the time, they got commercials, whatever. I will say that literally the sequence of events was out of order, but the narrative is for the most part the same.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Like the
sequence of events was not in order, no, but the narration was definitely the same. You know what I'm saying? So him standing up and having to be walked out, it definitely happened. It did. And it was on tape.
Because it's easier to look like a mad black woman than a mad black man.
And that's why I was pissed. I was like, you can paint me out to look like a mean girl all season, but you don't want to air the entire piece of what took place.
Yeah.
And so I think, even in some of that is just understanding choice of words.
Right.
And understanding placement. And so I will say stood up, however they want to clean that way, and was then escorted out and then brought back into scene. That's what actually took place in that moment.
Wow.
Because then you see it, I'm looking like this. You don't look up at something that's directly in front of you.
Right. Wait a minute now. What?
It doesn't even make sense. So, and one thing I don't do is I don't lie. I ain't lied none since I've been here. I'm not going to lie. So that was kind of where that was. And I was just like, it is what it is. I do feel like in some of it too, though, there was the elimination, you left, whatever. But for me, it ended, there. Like, I'm going to talk about it on the podcast, but I'm not on social media cheering. I'm not on social media starting additional dialogue about it. I'm not, because for what? For what? It's unnecessary. So that is actually what took place in that moment. And I mean, they can deny it. It's all, it's fine. I could care less. The facts are the facts.
The facts are the facts.
The facts are the facts. So like I said, the order may have been choppy, but if you're trying to get a holistic view of the combo,
and I think that's a lot of viewers, they will say this, they can generalize it all they want, but as a viewer, as the whole commonality of it is the editing was very apparent. Like there was a lot of stuff missing, and I think we're all wondering what the hell actually happened at the table. I'm not, because of course, me and you have a communication.
It wasn't even, to be honest, I think somebody's looking for like, what was that word? What was that moment?
Trigger?
What was that trigger that popped that? And it wasn't, because I was sitting there listening, because at this point he's speaking his piece, he's talking or whatever. So I'm just sitting there listening. And so he's just going into detail, because that's when he also said too, you think you better than us using your big words in your negotiation tactics.
Wait, no way he said that.
Definitely said that. And so I was like, big words. And so that's when it started playing back in my mind. When have I heard this big word comment before? At the hold down. It makes sense to me now. Like I'm thinking about where you hearing it and people going off in this, and he goes, he said that, then he said, you make me act like this. You bring this out of me. You make me act like this. I can't make you act like nothing. And I said it 75 times in my interviews because I wanted it to be captured and on tape that this is what was said, because there, I don't know what they're going to show. And so he said that several times, and he said, you make me act like this. You bring this out of me. No, I don't. Like, you act how you want to act. I act how I want to act. At the end of the day, you made some disparaging comments about someone. You should have owned them. Mm-hmm. You should have sat with it. Even if that was your experience and that's how you felt, that's fine. It wasn't. You were on a smear campaign to get me up out of here because you don't like me. that's fine.
Wow.
Like the feelings are mutual, right? So I think that's the thing, but I don't recall, I'm not going to say it wasn't, there being a specific word or anything. I think that, like when you're angry, you're just going, and you're getting more upset and more upset and more upset. And that's exactly what I would say took place in that space for him, is since he's just getting angrier and angrier and angrier.
Right.
And to be honest, I think, sometimes when people aren't engaging, that can be angering too. So, yeah, and that's why I said at the reunion, because I said his face in the reunion. I said, "Did you not have to be walked out?" And they're like, "No." It's
Y'all said that at the reunion?
Yeah, I did.
Where was I? Listen, I was so out of touch at the reunion. Like, but we'll get to that. That's another.
Yeah,
maybe we'll all come back as a panel.
I ain't coming back. I'm done.
I'm talking about like.
Yeah. So anyway, girl, it's always fun, but I always like to have a little game with people on the show.
Okay.
And I know you're always down for a good game.
I love a good game.
So
I'm the fun girl.
Our showrunner,
pulled
some tweets that we saw flying around about
my Twitter fingers.
Oh, your Twitter fingers, honey. So I'm going to read you a few tweets.
Okay.
And get your immediate reactions to them.
Okay.
All right. So I always think these are super fun and super funny to see. And
I'm excited.
You should be.
What the girls singing about me.
It's nothing negative. It's nothing negative at all.
I like the negative stuff too.
Sierra deserves love too, and she can be as goofy as she wants to be. She shouldn't need to tame herself. The bottom line is her match is just not on this season.
My match was not on this season. Listen, and I appreciated that tweet, and I think I did see that tweet.
Yeah.
Because it's like going into this process, being your 100% self, like I would be literally just continuing the cycle if I was to just be opposed to someone. No, I'm gonna be my authentic self, and whoever's for me is gonna be for me. Because the things that people complain about, are they character flaws? No. Sierra's not coming out as a liar. Sierra's not coming out as crazy or whatever the hell. Like, and even if I was, that would be their opinion. But it's like, I got voted off because I was being funny and silly, and it's like, yeah, that's okay. That's why I'm able to sleep at night, and I love that. Yes,
I liked it too. Man, I'm gonna miss Sierra. She didn't have any connections, but she was funny and entertaining AF.
Listen,
funny
is like, I'm being dead ass at this point. Why y'all not taking me serious? Because I'm being serious. I was not trying to be funny. I'm like, this is me.
All right. Sierra is a vibe. I hate to see her leave, but her connection was not on the show.
And people kept saying that, like, my connection was there. Sierra, these people are not your group of people, but it's like, it was comforting hearing that. That is amazing.
I think this next one's about your Love and Hip Hop comment. Sierra's saying some real shit. I need you. No. Okay, this is not Love and Hip Hop. This is about the plate fixing. Sierra's saying some real shit. I need you to understand what I deserve.
Listen, one thing about me, I am never going to hush my mouth. I'm going to tell it to the mountains. I want this. I deserve this. But also, coming from a woman who knows what she brings to the table. Mm-hmm. I'm allowed to say those things. So a lot of people are having a conflict with that. So you saying a lot of things that I'm not going to teach somebody how to do. Either it flows or it doesn't. That's just what that is.
And it is what it is.
That is what it is.
And we're going to be here anyway.
And listen, Mario is still my boy, still my homeboy.
Good.
Look, he want listen, that friend zone thing came into play. That's still my homeboy.
He is good.
He is good
people.
He is good
he
people.
Is good people. And, I think with that, too, is like, of all, and even the lady said early on, he had the best personality.
He did. He's like, so warming. One thing about it is like, it's not never like bad. It's never like a bad blood or something about him. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you go into that situation or any conversation with Maria, it's not a negative thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could still, like, I was not upset with him whenever he gave me the boot. And I'm like, okay, but
you was ready to go.
I was ready to go. He knew it too. He was like, free my homegirl.
Free me. Free me. Okay. All right. So quickly, lightning round. First thing that comes to your mind when you hear "Ready to Love." Go.
Ready for bullshit.
Talk or text.
Talk.
Celebrity crush.
Future.
Who?
Future.
Zavidius?
This my man.
That's my man? You gonna stick beside him?
Nah, I'm gonna stick beside. No. Idris Alba. Let me say somebody for real. Yeah.
And top 3 turn-ons.
Top 3 turn-ons. Acts of service. Truthful, honesty. Yo, shit together.
All right. And favorite movie?
Oh, my favorite movie is Set It Off.
Really? I can see
Listen,
that.
that's the unity of women that has some shit that they need to do.
Yeah.
They have come from all different aspects of life, and you are cry at the end, and there's one girl that makes it out, and that's me. So that's it.
My favorite movie, I know this is so crazy, is Joanna Man.
Joanna Man, I haven't seen it in forever.
I know that movie front, back, and sideways.
Low Down Dirty Shame.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna lose my black card because I ain't seen a lot of these black movies. So
Low Down Dirty Shame, you ain't seen it? Roll that bitch.
Not me. I haven't seen the whole thing. Girl, I grew up sheltered. I've seen like elements of it.
Right.
Like clips, but I've not seen it all the way through. I've not seen that all the way through. Girl, I ain't never seen Jason's Lyric. I haven't seen
Jason's Lyrics.
Poetic Justice, Crooklyn.
Ooh, see, yeah.
I haven't seen Belly all the way through. I know. Paid in Full. Yeah.
Paid in Full, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Paid in Full, I was debating which one I was gonna say, but Paid in Full is actually my favorite. But I didn't think that you would know, though. The viewers, I didn't know if this is live. Is this showing on Lifetime?
You are so silly. And then, The Bone Collector is my favorite movie with Denzel.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's safe.
But I like engaging, smart. I need you to challenge my mind type TV.
Right.
So I enjoy those type of things.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Sarah. If you are a movie person, Shutter's Island, what the hell was that about? Was he crazy? Or
girl, I didn't see that.
Y'all tune into the next episode of Once She Got Her Shit Together. Once she got her shit together, we're gonna come right back.
Girl, yeah, I haven't seen that episode. But listen, I want to tell you, out of all things within this process,
yes,
one thing I am most happy about is the fact that I got to meet you.
Yes,
and
Jessica,
that we were
likewise.
able to build a good, solid connection. You are my connection.
You are my connection. Remember, I used to sit at the ladies' lounge, and Tommy used to force me to pick a guy. I used to be like, I would pick a random girl. Jessica's my connection.
You are my connection. And then too, even since then, we've been able to do business.
Yes.
And grow each other's and support each other's business. I think that's important. When in all things that are going on, we were able to stay focused.
Yes.
And I think that's most important with all of this is just being able to stay focused. So I thank you for joining us and sitting on the yellow couch.
Thank you for having me. This is my favorite color.
Oh, yeah.
Yellow is my favorite. Yeah. You want 3, 4, 5 shades of green in the show. I said, that's your color. That's your color of the day.
It is. And I always had to send it to Sage because me and one of the other ladies used to wear green a lot too. Mm-hmm. And so it would always be like, she already got it on. I'm like, damn, I got to find out something else.
Yeah. You look so good in green.
You too. But this episode, he was also brought to you by Ezra Coffee and then our espresso martinis with Tequila by Tequila with Friends, another Black-owned tequila company based here in Dallas, Texas. So I'm glad you guys.
It's good, honey. I done had about 2.
Yeah. Well, we not, but no shade. But I was looking like, girl, I want to take some of that out. You know what I'm saying? But we finna pour it in anyway because we still have some more coffee, so we can have another one. But so excited that you were here to recap this episode, probably the most explosive 2 episodes, the cash trip, because clearly it was a mess.
Yes.
To discuss that, the eliminations, and then just your journey and your experience throughout this entire process.
This was great. I thank you so much for having me. I look forward to any other business adventures. One thing about two business women, we gonna have some fun, but we gonna do what? Most importantly, make some money.
Get that
Hello?
coin. That's what I'm like. Are y'all gonna pay for all this social
We gonna make
media
some money.
Like, run me my check. You know what I'm saying?
The coin.
That's what. Say what you want, because on both days, I got paid.
I just got paid.
So it is what it is. It is, and these. Listen, it was an experience. We can tell our grandkids that we did it.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet on a reality show? It is what it is. It works.
It's amazing.
I've learned a lot about myself.
Same here.
And so I think that's all that matters.
It confirmed the things that I knew about myself.
Oh, it definitely did with me too, right? Like, I am not the smiliest person, but that also does not make me mean. It's just like, what do you want me to sit around and smile about all day long? Like, I'm just sitting here.
Right. They want you to be frying chicken and cook and clean and do all the things.
Even when I was in the kitchen at the cash trip, they ain't show that. It was like, let's just pick these other things. So, anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Another great episode of So OffScript podcast.
Yes.
With, of course, Sierra and the other cast, one of my cast members from season 8, Dallas. Thank you again, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Yes, thank you.